He advocates the three principles of nationalism, democracy, and the people's livelihood.
Right. This is very core Sun Yat-sen's ideology. These are a big topic, right? These have been sort of read into, debated. A lot has been written on these three principles. And, I'm not going to really leap into that debate. What I can tell you is that this is what Sun Yat-sen's ideology is centered around. And there's sort of an interesting thing with Sun Yat-sen, where, like I said, he is the monumental figure of this era of Chinese history, and almost singularly, he's someone who both the Chinese nationalists and the Chinese communists later on will hold as a hero. So he's a hero to both of these factions, who will end up hating and fighting each other, right? So he's sort of an interesting guy. There's some examples of these types of people throughout history. Sun Yat-sen is still a hero in China today, in communist China, while he's also a hero to these nationalist, sort of anti-communist types. Now, what happens is that people tend to read what they want into his ideology, right? So as you can imagine, sort of Chiang Kai-shek nationalist types, they'll often focus on the nationalism, right? That's their big thing. You've got the nationalism, the democracy, the people's livelihood, which you could also call sort of social welfare. As you could probably also imagine, the communists tend to read into this last point, right? They read into this, they see it as sort of this idea of socialism or social welfare. And Sun Yat-sen was very much influenced by Georgism and Henry George, who was this American socialist, social democratic type theorist. His big idea was sort of a singular land tax, which he thought could help sort of lessen inequality. I mean, there's a lot to go into here. But basically, these are Sun Yat-sen's three principles, the center of his ideology. These will be very important for just about everyone in China, regardless of your political affiliation. I guess unless you're a hardcore Qing loyalist, people will take a lot of different things from these three ideas.